offseason.
One of them, Trestan Ebner from Henderson, Texas. He's a Henderson Lion, a Baylor Bear running back and kick return specialist, joins us Sic'Em 365 Radio. Trestan, thank you, young man, for your time. What is it like? Is there anxiety over the next few days as you await the draft next week?
Yes, sir, it is. It's a little nerve-wracking, but, you just try to wait out the outcome and hope that all your hard work can pay off.
What have you learned most in the process?
Just keep being patient and keep working, even if you don't see the results.
Trestan, what was this, combine, all-star game, pro day experience? It's kind of like the three legs of the race before the draft. I mean, a lot of guys dream of being able to, play in these games and be a part of it. Was a dream come true for you? And what was the overall experience of being able to be a part of those events like?
It was. It's a dream come true, and it was fun. I'm grateful that I had a couple of my teammates at every place with me, so I wasn't the only guy there that I didn't know. And, I just had people to talk to, but it was just great, experiencing those things. You see them each year in college and when you're in high school, and just to make it, I'm grateful.
Is the combine a little more stressful than maybe it appears to be on TV? I mean, what's kind of going through your mind knowing that, like, hey, these numbers are important? Is it a stressful situation, or were you able to kind of keep your cool in Indianapolis?
It was stressful leading up to the combine, but once you get there, it's just like a game, and, you feel prepared for it, and you just, when the lights come on, you do your best and you run hard.
Trestan, what have they told you? Those who run the different personnel departments in the NFL. Obviously, you're multi-talented as a running back, receiver, special teams, all of that. You learned all of that. What have you been told what to expect?
Pretty much, I think they think that I can play in a running back room. Every team that I talk to think I have a chance of playing in their running back room. But the biggest thing is special teams. They say they want me as a kickoff returner, a punt returner. And a lot of teams tell me that's a need for them, like it's a necessity. So I know I have a chance to get a role at that.
Rookies who are drafted or not, that's how you make the team. If you're a number one pick, quarterback, whatever, some star player in the first round, there's a big investment there. But how much of that were you also on some of the coverage teams as well?
Yes, sir. Throughout my whole career, I've played every single special team there is at Baylor.
So
it's something I feel like they prepared us for.
So you've done that as well, which is a lot of the players who are going to get drafted this next week have done that. And that's something, did that not something ingrained by Matt Rule and his staff initially, that you're going to have to do that and you want to turn out to be, when your career is over, ready for the pros?
Yes, sir, it is. It was, and we kind of knew that with some of the other guys we had that went to the league before us, just asking them questions about it. They talked to us about that as well, and they told us Coach Rule got them prepared for the NFL.
Trestan, the road to where you are today, what do you remember the most? Because it was not always easy. There were tough losses. There were tough seasons. There was change and transition. What do you remember the most?
Just never giving up, like just getting ready for life, Adversity is going to hit no matter what. How will you overcome that? I think that's the biggest lesson I learned. That was our motto in high school, and that's something I just took with me through college and hopefully the NFL was how to face adversity.
Do you feel like your body is fresh even after playing an entire collegiate career? Do you feel pretty fresh? How long does it take after the season's over to kind of, you're ready for something else?
I'm missing football right now. It's the first time I went without football this long. So I am missing it. My body is feeling better than it has in the past years. And so I think that'll help me out.
You're supposed to be out there for spring ball right now. What are you doing? What's going on? Does it feel kind of weird?
Hey, you saw the young running backs. You saw Tay. You've seen Jenkins, the young freshman from East Texas and Lindale, among some of the others who are, even we heard that Fleeks was running at times at the running back position. Can you kind of give us a scouting report on what you think about them as they have to replace you and Abram Smith?
I don't think, it's a replacement position, but them guys, they just play the game. And like just Tay is a beast. You know, he's big, he's explosive, and I got a little peek at that this year, and so I think he's ready to take over the role. And Jordan is good too. He's a young guy, and I feel like Fleek is explosive. You like me catching passes out the backfield, and he can return kicks as well. So, you know, I think our coaches just have like a great offensive mind, especially Coach Grimes, and he fits pieces into a wide zone offense that's going to help. So I don't even think it's going to be a fall off of production.
Do you feel that your skill set, especially with the way that offenses are going now, I know that, like, you know, Deebo Samuel's a wide receiver that plays running back. You're a running back that is very good and can line up a lot of different places, will translate really well, and maybe when teams get you in the fold, you can kind of show that to them?
Yes, sir. And I've talked to a couple teams about that, too. I feel very confident in my receiving ability as well. And I think that it just helped me, you know, take the advantage over other guys that can just run the ball.
Trestan, you obviously had a very, long and trying journey at times at Baylor. At this point, I'm sure you've been asked a million times of what it was like to, win the Big 12, win a Sugar Bowl. But I mean, truly, I got to ask you again, to be where you guys, were at 1-11 4 years ago, and then you make that rise, and then Rule leaves, and it's, 2-7, and COVID and all of that, and we know it was a stressful year. I mean, can you still wrap your head around how last year went and how last year ultimately ended? After that TCU game, I'm sure it didn't feel like you guys were about to go on a run, but you did. I mean, it's crazy that happened. How crazy was it to be a part of that?
That was crazy, and that was the plan going to the season. After that last game against Oklahoma State in 2020, a lot of the older guys just came together and we talked, and a lot of us said if we come back, we're gonna win the Big 12 championship. And I'm just grateful, because I've seen the work that it took to get there. We've lost and we won. And for us to be the group that came in together to win it, it's amazing because you love to win the Big 12 championship. I feel like that's what gets remembered. It goes on top on the indoor. And so, it's just an amazing feeling to make history at Baylor.
Trestan, in your years at Baylor, you've seen it all as far as wins and losses, productions, stats, highlights, all of that. But you've also seen college football change dramatically with all of what's going on now with the transfer portal, with NIL and more. Is this all good in the end, or would you yourself as a student athlete have any recommendations about how college football can handle it, or the players going forward?
I think it's a good thing. I would love to see people making money. I never get upset with people being able to make their own money for themselves and their family. But personally, NIL is something I just never got into, and I never got into transfer portal either. But I think it's a good thing for the guys that just come from poverty-stricken situations, and they can kind of have to change their family in college. Not only they don't have to wait to the NFL. So I think if it's used right and people have the right guidance, it could be a big thing for college football.
Would I be correct in saying that you were almost so focused this past year that it didn't even matter to you? Would that be right or wrong in saying that?
That was right.
Yeah.
I had a couple of offers, but, I didn't really care during the season. I was just trying to win.
Yeah.
And I figured if I played good enough, I'd be able to make the money I need to make in the future.
Trestan, you not everything was great. Man, you had some highlights, as I mentioned, of course, All-American as a kick returner. Is it too easy now for athletes to be able to just leave when they want to? Because there were a couple of times in your career when you probably were a little bit frustrated or maybe a little bit of the unknown. What kept you from doing that? What was it about your life and your growing up that allowed you to say, wait a minute, I got to finish this out?
Just, my mom always taught me to finish where I started. And you're right. It was a couple of times, I'm at Baylor and I'm like, just wanting a fresh start, especially becoming an older guy with the coaching staff change, and you're thinking maybe the grass is greener somewhere else, And, but I think my mom, she had a big influence on me and always made me stick things through. And just the coaches, them telling me to stay, and Coach Juice, coming and talking to me and just letting me know that we're in this together, like I'm not alone here.
Would you mind me asking you, when you maybe were a little bit uncertain, did anyone else ever contact you, another program?
I never talked to anyone directly.
Oh, okay. So there was at least, hey, by the way, if in fact you're interested?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's a concern as well.
That
Now,
happens, but you see it with a lot of players that the transfer portal isn't what everyone thinks it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get a couple of guys that transfer in a better situation, but a lot of times, you know, kids end up getting stuck going to smaller D1 programs or D2 programs.
Yeah, there's a lot of young men, hundreds of them right now that are in the transfer portal. Everyone's had their spring drills. We'll have wrapped it up by the end of this weekend with Baylor and others, or even next weekend, and they don't have anywhere to go. That's got to be really, really difficult.
Yeah, it's sad, you know. So I think a lot of kids just suck it up and push through and earn a spot.
Well, it works for you, that's for sure. Your mom was
absolutely.
right, and coaches were right because it worked out pretty well for you in the end. Trestan, you probably, you know, everybody that was on that team last year has probably been asked this question 1,000 times, and we'll get asked it 1,000 more. But where were you? What were you doing? What were you thinking? And what were you saying to yourself moments later when the McPlay happened and you guys cemented a Big 12 championship?
Well, as you guys know, probably had one of my worst games in a Baylor uniform that game. So, you know, I'm over there, my heart is racing, and I'm just nervous. I'm like, I lost this game for us, and I'm watching, and then it's the 4th and 1, and I can't even watch. So I turned around. So I didn't even get to see the play live, really. I turned around, and I kind of peeked back on the screen, and I see Terrell jumping up and down, and I ran out on the field and just celebrated. That's probably the best feeling besides my daughter being born I ever had in my life.
Can you explain? In the moments after that, Dave Aranda got Gatorade dumped on him, and it only broke his gait slightly.
Yeah. No emotion.
I mean, he didn't – I've never seen a coach – usually the coaches will, like, move out of the way. He just took it and, like, half step kept moving.
I'm pretty sure he was thinking about the Super Bowl.
Already game planning?
Or making sure there was no flag. Okay, we still have to take a knee. There's still time left. This is not over.
That's crazy because that's what goes through his head. Like it's like a computer or something up there, and he analyzes everything, and he thinks every situation through. And the 2 games we lost this year are the only times that we didn't do exactly what he said it was going to take to win.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's different, isn't he? I mean, do you guys have a nickname for him? Because we've tried to come up with one.
I don't say he's a killer, man. He's just a stone cold killer. I love it. Like his face, I love it. He takes the soul of any team we play. Like he wants us to win, and he wants us to have fun. He wants us to dominate. And, you know, all that and he pushes it at practice. You know, we take care of each other, but he lets us play on Saturdays, and I think that helps us a lot.
How big was – we talked to him in the offseason, his focus on the mental health of the team coming off of 2020.
Person over player.
Yeah, person over player, where sometimes even though coaches may feel that they don't know how to enact it, they don't know how to do it, so they just kind of lean harder into the work. What was that like to experience him, you know, deciding to, like, let's get to know these guys beyond the field a little bit?
That was nice. And it was actually really nice. It took some time for me to get used to because at first you're like, what does anything have to do with me playing football? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a football player. So once it's time to step on the field and play, like I'm going to do what I got to do. But then, you know, once you listen to him and you start to understand what he's trying to instill in you, and like you realize that if I take care of all my business outside of the field, if I have my grades good, I have good relationships with my family, my friends and all that, then it's easier to focus on the football because you don't have to stress out about a lot of other stuff that you can control. And I think that was like big for our team. You know, we accepted that, and the coaching staff, you know, preached it. So it's not only Coach Aranda. Like they do a great job of just preaching the same message, and you're hearing it all the time. And I think with us buying in, helped us win the championship.
Do you then see after that first year he comes in, it's COVID, you can't meet, all the stuff that went down, and it all of a sudden come to you like, oh, this is why he's here, because he was able to be who he is the second year around?
Yes. You know, you have your doubts coming off a season like that, and and he does a great job. You know, we all know that he's a soft-spoken guy. He doesn't talk that much, but I feel like he does a great job of trying to relate to the team and getting out of his ordinary to talk to players and become that head coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's easy not to talk to guys when you're a coordinator or whatever as much. But when you're head coach, you got to talk to everybody. You got to discipline people, and I feel like he does a great job of that.
Hey, good luck. You got anything else, Craig?
Yeah, Trestan, just man, what's it going to be like to put on for Henderson, Texas, and East Texas, and the family that I know you love so much? I mean, when that NFL team calls here in a little over a week, wherever it is, whenever it is, just what's that like to see all that hard work, finally come to fruition? And obviously, there's going to be a lot of work to do after that, but just what's that moment going to be like for you and your family?
I imagine it just be a surreal moment. You know, I've been dreaming of this since I was playing Pee Wee football at 8 years old, and for it to finally come and I'll be surrounded by friends and family, it'll be great. And I try to soak it in as much as I can, and then I'm gonna switch my mindset to, all right, it's time to work again.
So Ricky Dudley, a great name in Henderson, Texas history, was a high school player, star, went to Ohio State, played in the NFL, and there haven't been many others from Henderson, have there?
Drew Coleman.
Drew Coleman, who went to junior college initially at Trinity Valley, and then you're right,
sir.
played at TCU, and then went on and he played in the NFL. Dynamic player, like you are.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's my cousin.
Oh, that's awesome.
Family ties right there.
That's awesome. Tell Drew I said hi.
He played for the Jets, right? That was the team I think
Yes,
of.
sir.
Yeah.
Henderson Lion to Baylor Bear to sometime here soon in the National Football League. Trestan, it's great to have you on the show. We wish you the very best of luck, and then sometime after whatever happens in the draft, we'll have you on maybe again, and you'll know where you're going to live the next few years. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
God, that was fun. That's some insightful stuff about the background inside of a program, the possibility a couple of times maybe the grass is greener on the other side, and we appreciate that from Trestan Ebner. We're going to talk